Hello and welcome back to Exothermic Plays Games. I'm Exothermic and the date today is Thursday, September 12th, 2024. I've been doing a countdown of my favorite video games of all time through each day of the year, and coming in at number 111 is Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards. I love Kirby. He's just so perfect and pink and round and hungry. Kirby 64 was the first Kirby game I ever played, and oh wow did I play it. When it came out, I was 5, almost 6 years old, and it was one of the first games that really grabbed me, and I played over and over, repeating levels and looking for every little secret and hidden item. The game follows our pink protagonist as he travels from planet to planet, liberating them all from an ominous shadow, corrupting and enslaving their people. I know, that sounds really dark and grim, and it is, but it's also Kirby, so he's mostly just following his friends and food. The game features very light platforming while executing what I still think is the best iteration of Kirby's main gimmick they've ever done. You can, of course, suck up enemies and swallow them to gain their abilities. The bomb ability lets you throw bombs. The fire ability lets you dash as a flaming ball. Boomerang is, a boomerang. You know, the works. But what the game does so well, what makes it so endearing and hold up to repeated play, is that you can combine the powers. Press up and Kirby takes the power out of himself, which is already kind of a funny thought. Then you can throw that at an enemy, killing it and combining the two powers together. There's a ton of them and they're all great for at least something. Bomb plus boomerang gives you exploding shuriken. Those are awesome. Bomb plus fire turns you into fireworks, like Kirby himself is the fireworks. Fire plus boomerang gives you a giant flaming sword you pull out of your mouth. When I was little, we liked to call this combo schwing, because we'd make sounds whenever Kirby swung it around. Some of them are pretty goofy, like Fire plus Electric makes Kirby rub his own head with a sheet of metal, causing sparks until his head ignites, and then he runs around panicking, because, you know, his head's on fire. But by far, the best combination is Electric plus Ice, which allows Kirby to turn into a literal refrigerator, and spit out food that damages enemies and heals Kirby. It's worth mentioning as well that you can combine two of the same type as well, like how Double Stone allows you to turn into a massive stone Kirby and just walk through enemies. Thankfully, you're not just getting all of this variety for the sake of it and being able to laugh at Fridge Kirby, though that is definitely a great reason, but instead you'll want to experiment and toy around with them as you work your way through the game. Each planet is made up of several levels, usually with a mini-boss somewhere in the level and some fairly linear exploration to the end, where you'll meet your friends for a picnic. There's not really anything to the picnic, it's just a mini-game to get some restorative items, or some collectible cards detailing the enemies in the game. It's not important, but it's humorous and fun. At the end of each world, however, there's a big boss fight that you have to do in order to move on to the next one. They're actually pretty intricate compared to the rest of the game's combat, and I'm ashamed to admit I might have been better at this game when I was 6. All of the different environments of the game offer a lot of variety, and oh man, you're gonna spend some time in them. In order to get to the final boss of the game, you of course need to beat every level, but you also need to collect all of the crystal shards that are the namesake of the game. Most of them are done through story progression as just rewards you get from bosses and such, but there's usually some that are hidden throughout each level too. Often it's just something off the beaten path you need to explore and find, but sometimes you'll find destructible terrain that's multiple weird colors. The reason for the colors is that each of the core attack types Kirby can copy in this game is tied to a color, like how bombs are black and fire is red. Well, the destructible terrain will match the colors for 2 abilities, so you need that specific combination to break it up and get the shard hidden inside. This often means you'll need to replay levels several times, but don't worry too much about having to get the specific combo. You can just go into any level that you know you can get that combo quickly, get it, and then if you press pause, you can select try again, and that takes you back to the level selection screen, and you'll still have your combo to then jump into the world where you need to break the terrain. But that being said, you still need to not lose those powers on the way there. It's in the middle or late in levels that you find these things, so you do have to be a little careful. There's a lot to love about Kirby 64, and while it's not the most advanced game in the world, it really focuses a whole lot on the idea that fun is first and foremost in gaming, and sometimes the best games just give players all of the tools to do whatever they want, and then just let them do it. Join me tomorrow as I talk about my 110th favorite game, where I am once again carrying a talking sword, but this time it's actually helping me again? I guess that's happened more than once on the channel, but it's another time, and this one's a USB as well.